from the Asian Community Development Council. This is Family in Focus, Mondays at 12 noon on PHLV Radio.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat and welcome to Family in Focus, a program by the Asian Community Development Council wherein we discuss critical issues, challenges, and opportunities affecting Filipino-American families. Ako po ang inyong host, Ado Vice Solano. Wow, ang bilis pa ng panahon. 2 ng Mayo na po, and Happy Asian American Heritage Month. In recognition of the achievements and contributions of the Asian Pacific Islanders in the U.S., ACDC will be highlighting and uplifting our community and the work of our community partners. So our episode for today is about how we can all support local nonprofit organizations through Give and Make campaign. Ano nga ba ang Give and Make campaign? Ito ang nationwide online giving campaign to support nonprofits across the nation whose work is addressing the needs of the API community. Today, we have 2 wonderful guests from participating organizations this month. Our first guest is Mindy Lloyd, co-founder and chair of Bamboo Bridges, a non-profit organization which provides or bridges the multi-ethnic, multilingual, and multi-generational Asian Pacific American community by developing collaborations and building awareness of the issues that women confront in their lives, families, and even communities. Also, joining us today through Zoom is Elizabeth De Leon Gamboa, President of the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada, a professional and non-profit organization dedicated to upholding the image, fostering the welfare, and unifying professional Filipino-American nurses here in Nevada. So Mindy and Tita Liza, maraming salamat po and welcome to Family in Focus.
Hi. Hi, Liz.
Oh, hindi po natin, Tita Liza.
Yes.
Ayun, narinig na po namin kayo. Maraming salamat po Maraming salamat po for joining us today. So, I want to start with Mindy. So, can you tell us more about Bamboo Bridges?
So, Bamboo Bridges is an organization locally that helps women and families that are affected by domestic violence and those that are affected by that they're trafficked in the United States, and also families that are faced with sexual assault and rape in their life.
I see. And then, ano po ang, one of your mission also is to break the silence of women who are trapped in violent relationships or even experience domestic and sexual violence. And how do you accomplish this po? It is, I believe, in your Project Resilience?
With Project Resilience, we try to engage into our younger generation, which is like our 5th graders and up, into our leadership, showing them signs of domestic violence, how one can help and support locally and help report such issues that is affecting not just our state, but locally other states are dealing with this. And we saw a lot of it happening, especially during the pandemic when other states were asked, they were mandatory lockdown. So a lot of our families, we had so many reports that were being reported of a lot of molestations in the families and youths that were committing suicide because they were being raped within their homes. So that was a reality that was happening. Not just people losing their jobs, but issues that were happening outside, and then a lot of our kids were taking it to school. But when they closed schools down, they closed our streets down, they closed work down, everyone was at home. And then of course there those that were, like your uncles or your dads that were molesting you, they didn't have an avenue. So I had a lot of children that were taking their lives because they didn't want to go through that. I had women that were being raped by their roommates. And then, of course, there was, our reporting, you can't see it, but our police departments, they have those numbers that it was just very sad that was happening.
Nakakalungkot po na ganun po ang mga na fini-face po ng ating mga bata po na naapektuhan ng ganung sexual violence. At actually po dun sa Clark County, there were 13,637 reported cases of domestic and sexual violence, and the key word here is just reported. So
just reported.
Opo, so madami pa pong hindi mga na-report na cases. So through yung Project Resilience po, ito yung avenue for people and also the mga kids po to report or mag-reach out po sa inyo. And actually also nga po dun sa 2021 report by the Nevada Coalition to End Domestic and Sexual Violence, there were about 542 Asian Pacific Islander victims, and out of the 26,966 incident details that was provided, only 3,904 number of cases in which law enforcement was called.
Yeah.
So majority of the cases that yung law enforcement was not called and remains unknown. So why do you think they are afraid to get law enforcement involved?
Well, it was even worse when it was unknown because during the pandemic, we still didn't know how to get our officers into people's homes, and so that was really a struggle. And so now even the challenge of the reporting, people don't want to be burdened by their situation. And so it's really important that how we can help other people is by giving them support, giving them resources that we know so that they can report it, and then they can call to a safe number and have someone at the other end talk to them, without getting to the point of where they're taking their life, but the numbers that we have, and it's funny that you say only, because those numbers are actually higher, and we need more help for a lot of our families because what's happened during the pandemic is that we had a lot of people, because there's no job, they still need money to live. So we had a lot of women that were forced into the sex industry, because that was the quickest way of getting a little bit of money to help to pay for electricity, to get food in the tables, because they still needed to survive. So, I will share you one story. I have a registered nurse mom. She actually pimped out her daughter, 14 years old. And being a registered mom, and she was trafficking her daughter at $75,000 per person.
Wow.
Yes. And so you think about those numbers and how many times that she can have sex over and over and over. And this girl made a lot of money. And being a registered mom, she would actually, when her daughter would rip, she would sew her and then give her a break for the weekend. And unfortunately, for us, the struggle was that she was so used to this lifestyle that mom had given her at 14 years old, the Gucci bags, the wonderful life or what money can, attain you. And when she was brought into the system, she didn't have that. And then now mom is faced of trying to get her daughter back, but we all know that she's just going to try to better her system of pimping her daughter out because it's a problem that a lot of us don't talk about. But what this woman was doing was she was selling her daughter, and men were paying for it. Men and women were paying for that. So in the weekend, this girl banked a lot of money. She made so much money.
So paano po natin na tulungan yung daughter na ito to come out of that situation?
Well, she's out. She's out of the situation, but she's very angry. She's very angry because she wants back with her. Not only is she missing her mom, of course, there's that bond there.
Yes.
But she's also missing what she had before. So you think about all the kids that are in a foster home. You're limited. You're limited to what you have. You know, so it's hard because you see that in our community, and people don't understand when kids go to school and they see the nicest jeans there, the nicest backpacks. Oh, how come you have this bag? They want what that girl has, you know, and boys too. They want the brand name sneakers that they see. So they find avenues to do it. With the boys, they learn how to sell drugs.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just the quickest way. And we're in Vegas, where it used to be that if you were a valet tender at any of the casinos, you made a lot of money. And we're a 24-hour state, so not only we have the entertainment business, so a lot of the girls think, oh, I could go and dance and make a lot of money in the night, and there you go. And so they give up their education.
And that's madami po talagang naidulot ang pandemic, and it actually showed yung mga issues that we are all facing, from food insecurity to housing. And I would just like to bring in Tita Liza from Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada to give us a brief history of the organization. Kasi during the pandemic, our Filipino nurses played a large role, a larger role, which is frontline workers. So they work long hours and cope with grief that they all witness in their daily work. So Tita Liza, can you tell us more about Philippine PNANV?
Okay, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat, and thank you, Vice, for inviting me. Siyempre, very proud tayo to promote the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada. This organization was established in 1992, and if you would see on my background, we're celebrating our 30 years this year. And with that being said, all throughout these years, we have been active in the community. Magmula sa pagbakuna for the hepatitis B and flu vaccination clinics. And then we provide continuing education for our members. But more so important, as what Vice mentioned, the past 2 years, really, our members and our board of directors have been out there volunteering. We were sewing masks, creating face shields during the shortage of the PPEs. And then we partnered with an organization to be able to bring food to the doorsteps of these co-workers and even friends or families that were afflicted with COVID, because they cannot go out to go to the grocery and get some food. So that was our gift for sharing. And then we also had our prayer group established. We have been praying for a lot of the people that we find out they're sick with COVID. Now the whole family is sick. And then so people were reaching out to us. Oh, we heard that PNA is praying for people. And so we did that. And of course, to reward the nurses for the long hours, is what you said earlier, 12 long hours. And then sometimes they have mandatory overtimes. And then some of the people are getting sick. So the rest have to work, somebody has to take care of the patients. So we partnered again with another organization to have that Give to Nurses campaign. So this massage, I'm going to mention Massage ND actually helped us out and donated 1,200 gift certificates. And those were given out to all the nurses that took care of COVID patients all over the valley. So we were out there. Up to now, we're still collaborating with you, ACDC, but during the first months that the vaccines came out, we were out there in the front lines giving vaccinations at the UNLV clinic. So our organization has really been out there to help out and find solutions and make a difference during the COVID times.
Maraming salamat po. Naalala ko nga po nung mga early years po ng pandemic, early months of the pandemic, nag-collaborate po tayo in providing face shields and face masks, and we distributed food to our frontline workers sa Mountain View Hospital and then at other medical centers din po. And in the past po, we have been working together with ACDC on providing the vaccination. So, maraming salamat po sa inyo, sa inyong mga miyembro, along with yung mga Filipino nurses natin who continues to brush aside your fears in to the side when you're at work and still providing, mga serbisyo para sa ating mga komunidad. At pero paano na po ang condition ng ating mga Filipino nurses? Kamusta na rin po kayo?
Oo. Actually, Vice, kahit anong clinical setting, whether it's in the hospital, group home, nursing home, or even mga home health, yung mga nurses talaga, they were stretched thin kasi nga may staffing shortage, no? And at the same time, the fear of getting sick or contracting the disease and then infecting our loved ones. So that was really very stressful from the mental standpoint, from the physical, emotional, spiritual, lahat na stress na yung mga nurses. But then they know in the back of their heads, somebody has to take care of the patients. So talaga yung sacrifice was there and the commitment to still serve despite all these uncertainties, no? Ngayon, I would say we're getting by. We're trying to get used to the new normal. And of course, I think a lot wiser and more cautious when it comes to taking care of patients and making sure that we give care at the same time protecting ourselves and our families. It's really great that we have seen in this tumultuous time na nagkakaisa yung mga nurses. And it's very important, lalo na ngayon, the mental health issue is there. Maraming nurses ang nababurn out, yung iba nagkukwit, or they feel like they're hopeless. So we're here for you. Ang Philippine Nurses Association, we actually have a mentorship program that we're offering sa mga nurses, lalong-lalo na yung mga estudyante tsaka yung bagong nurses pa. That, they're coming in tapos medyo magulo because of the pandemic, right? And we don't want them to lose hope. So you can come to us and avail of that mentorship program para matulungan namin kayo. And then the other thing is our self-care. We've really emphasized self-care for the past 2 years. While taking care of the others, you have to care for yourself. I always believe in you can't give from an empty cup. So you have to fill yourself to be able to give. Yan ang parati kong sinasabi sa mga nurses. Kasi pag wala ka nang maibigay, paano na? Diba? You have to really take care of yourself. So may mga programs kami for self-care, which we call Mind, Body, Strong. And we're actually developing a program that is culturally based, lalo na sa ating mga Pilipino, medyo meek, ayaw humingi ng tulong because they feel like, kaya ko to. But then, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. So we really want to develop this self-care program na magbe-benefit hindi lang lahat ng mga nurses but most specifically tayong mga Pilipino at saka yung mga immigrants kasi we are faced with different stressors aside from the nursing itself.
And Tita Liza, importante nga po yung sinabi niyo at dito pumapasok ang PNANV is you are here to support and build a connection to your fellow nurses, especially those who are newly immigrants, as well as yung helping them culturally transition and with the language barrier. And
Yeah.
speaking of language barrier, and I would like to bring in Tita Mindy. So we have bilingual advocates to help with the people who have limited English proficiency. Why is it important po na magkaroon ng ganitong serbisyo para sa mga babae po?
So we have trained individuals that are able to for translating, and it's really important because when we talk about reporting, you know that they are able to fill out reports for the police. You know, when they are reporting for, excuse me, and for our services when they go to court. Or any type of more support there, because sometimes they are not speaking the universal language of English, right?
Opo.
So we have trained individuals that have gone through 3,000 hours of training, whether it's training for sexual assault and domestic violence and human trafficking. So it's afforded for them so that we can help them and support them in ways that so that they can get the actual assistance that they need to go through what they're going to be dealing with for the next 6 months.
Yeah. And this by participating po in the Give and Make campaign, and this will help po further your causes in providing these services to yung mga victims po. And actually last year your goal was 20,000, but you were able to raise about 21,190. So what steps did you
Wow.
take po to reach your goal, so we can Tita Riza can get tips from you and how to raise her own funds for the organization?
So in the last hours, and I think you can attest to this, that we were on the phone dialing for dollars up to the last minute until midnight hit. And so you are just calling friends. You are just hitting everyone on Facebook. And issues that you have, especially our frontline workers and our first responders, everybody loves all of our nurses. And they know what they have been dealing with that. But for Bamboo Bridges, I think your friends are always willing to help you in the last minute. And I was very lucky to have a donor that was in Mexico. And I was like, hey, I am this short. And you know what? They sent the money in. And very luckily that in Mexico, we were an hour behind, but we were able to meet our deadline.
So it's all about connections po.
Yes.
And then, Tita Riza, I know you have an upcoming fundraising gala. So this could be a start of the campaign for your organization.
Yes, definitely. We have so many projects, as what I mentioned earlier. But aside from that, meron din kaming scholarship programs. Actually, we're awarding 3 scholarships this year. And they will be announced during the gala. And then, tumutulong din kami sa ibang, lalo na sa Pilipinas. There was a time that they helped out sa Bahay Kalinga, and they helped fund housing. Just recently for us, we helped out dun sa mga survivors of Typhoon Odette. So we had that for the rehabilitation efforts and disaster relief. So marami kami talagang programs, but I really want to push for right now is the health and mental welfare of our nurses. Kaya yung self-care program at saka yung mentorship, we're really trying to push, and we want to make sure that we have a broader reach, not just confined to the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada, but to all the nurses, make it available to all the nurses here in Nevada. And then we want to partner with the hospitals and with the institutions, lalong-lalo na sa mga immigrant nurses that they're hiring because we have such a staffing shortage. So with that, we can help with the retention efforts. So itong fundraising namin, 30 years na kami. It's called Pearls of Wisdom and Resilience. So all throughout the years, we have our ups and downs, we have our challenges, but we're still here at 30 years. So it's at the Orleans on May 7 at 6 p.m. And in line with that, because it's Nurses Week, it started actually today, I believe. And so happy Nurses Week, everybody. And then yung Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month as well. So we're celebrating not just the nurses, but us as people, right? API community, we're celebrating us as well as yung mga community partners. Lalong-lalo na kayo, ACDC, you have made it possible for us nurses to go above and beyond our call of duty in the clinical setting. Through you, we course through you how we can reach out to the community by participating in your food pantries at saka yung vaccination efforts. So, yeah,
Salamat
it's
po.
just so exciting.
Salamat po sa collaborate po sa amin in our programs at sa pagpunta rin niyo po dun sa Run for Rice and Walk for Wellness na naganap lang po kahapon sa CSN Charleston Campus. So, kamusta po yung experience niyo po during the Run for Rice? Okay.
Masaya. At first, I was telling Governor Sisolak, I said, they forced me to walk kasi Tita Doris was running late. And I'm like, okay, I guess I have to be the one to walk. Kasi team of 5, right?
Opo.
And he said, no, it's good for you. Okay. So after one lap, and then we even danced, yung Zumba.
Opo.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. You know, and then dancing there, masarap kahit medyo windy. It was just a happy experience to see all our colleagues. And then mga community partners were all there to support.
That's good po. That's good that you and your team po had a wonderful time during the event, and that is also to help us fundraise, yung ACDC po, help us fundraise our food distribution efforts, and yung itatayong Happy Medical Center para sa ating API komunidad para sa healthcare access. And I just want to highlight din po yung regardless po of our organization's focus, nandito tayo to collaborate with each other, and regardless of our area of focus, again, we are here to do good work and contribute to the common good in our own special way po. So, I know ang bilis po ng oras. So, bago po tayo magtapos ng ating segment, gusto ko lamang po kayong anyayahin sa darating na Sabado, May 7. Ito ang annual graduation event ng ACDC na ipaparangalan namin ang mga Asian Pacific Islander na nagtapos ng kolehiyo dito sa Southern Nevada, at gaganapin ito sa College of Southern Nevada Charleston Campus. At kung hindi pa po kayo nag-sign up o may kakilala kayong hindi pa registered na nag-graduate, pumunta lamang sa bit.ly/graduation 2022 para sa libreng admission na kinabibilangan ng job fair, lunch, at medallion ceremony. So before I close this episode, I just want to ask Tita Mindy first, what is the best piece of advice that you can give to our fellow Pinoys po?
I would like to ask everyone to give moral support to those that are affected by domestic violence, trafficking, bullying, mental illness, to give them more support going to the police, to the courts, to their lawyer's office, letting them know that they are not alone in this and that there are plenty of resources that they can reach out to.
Okay, wonderful advice. Yeah. And Tita Liza? Okay.
So, the one thing that I would like to leave the audience is that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it's a sign of strength. So, pagka medyo mahirap ang buhay or na-stress, reach out to someone. And I'm telling you, lalo na sa mga Filipino nurses, medyo mahiyain, you can come to us, reach out to us. Go to pnanv.org and to find the resources that you need as a nurse. Sa ibang mga kapwa nating Pilipino, it only takes one person to want to make a difference. The power of one, at tapos magsasama-sama tayo to have one whole community para to impact change and make sure we have a better world to live in.
Oh, I love that advice also. So, again, mga kapamilya po, suportahan natin ang Bamboo Bridges, Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada, and other participating Asian Pacific Islander nonprofit through the Give and Make campaign. And Mindy, Tita Liza, maraming salamat po for joining us today. And kapamilya, maraming salamat po for listening and watching Family in Focus. Ito ang programa ng Asian Community Development Council kung saan i-discuss natin ang mga critical issues, challenges, opportunities, and even successes affecting mga pamilyang Pilipino. Ako po ang inyong host, Edelweiss Solano. So for more information about ACDC, please visit our website at acdcnv.org and follow us on our social media channels. Hanggat sa muli, maraming salamat po.